Hi! Today in this video, as usual, I would like to show you a new kit from ICStation. This is a small 2-stages transistorized amplifier with negative feedback. And the purpose of this circuit is for studying the working of the amplifiers. So it has a lot of jumper and you can set different working modes in it. First, let's see what is in the bag. Luckily, there are a lot of similar components. All the electrolytic capacitors are the same. There are a lot of similar resistors and 3 additional type, a small single-sided PCB with silkscreen, and the 2 transistor itself, and 2 trimmer pot, jumpers, and some pin headers. Now let's see the connection diagram. I printed it out. So here you can see, and here is the PCB. Let's see what is what. So X3, this one, is the power supply, so here you can apply the VCC and the ground. The suggested VCC is 12 volt positive. X1 is here, this is the input, the lower is the ground, upper is the warm point of the input, and X2 is the output, it is here. Lower is the ground, upper is the output. In the description of this item, they suggest to apply 2 millivolts as an input, 1 kHz sine wave. Now let's see how is it working. This is the first transistor stage and this is the second transistor stage. This 3 resistor setting the DC working point of the transistor, the base, emitter and collector voltage. It is a good starting to set nearly the half power supply voltage here, so about 5 volt here with this trim pot, and do the same with the second stage, also 6 volt here. And if you remove all the jumpers, 1, 2, no more, then you can study the output of the first stage. Now, if you put S2 jumper, then the output of the first stage is leaded to the input of the second stage, and then it is amplified more. The second stage has a bigger amplification, and this common emitter amplifier produce inverted output, so the input and output is in a 180-degree phase difference, and this stage do the same, so the final result is in phase. And now if you put this S1 jumper, then the output of the amplifier is fed back to the emitter of the first amplifier, so it produces a negative feedback, and in that case the amplification ratio is lower, but the bandwidth is wider and the stability is higher, so that's why the negative feedback is so widely used. Let's see the components. So this is a 4.7 key, and this is also 4.7. So it's better to write it down as 4 key 7 because it is very easy to recognize and there is no need to any decimal point or comma or like this. Here you can see a small dot, so maybe it's our printer problem, it has not enough toner in it. Okay, so there are 9 4 key 7, 100 ohm, 2 1 key, 6 pieces, 10 microfarad, 2 transistors with the same well-known Chinese type, the same trim pots, 50K, and some pins and jumper and the PCB itself. It will look like this at the end. So let's start to assemble it. I suggest you to use the 3 different resistors, put them into the places, and then all the other resistors will be the same. Now the circuit is ready. I was thinking a lot, how can you test it? I have a very nice rigor generator, I have a Siglent 4-channel digital oscilloscope, and if I use them, then no one could, or very few person could repeat my testing method. So now here is the minimum what you need to test this circuit. This small oscilloscope, DSO shell for example, or DSO 138, both is good, and minimum a 1 kHz sine wave oscillator which can produce very low amplitude output signal. And now you can see that I connected to the output of the generator to the input of the amplifier and the oscilloscope to the output side, which is the maximum level which can be applied to the input. This is wrong because the upper half is distorted. So let's see. Yes, and now we can measure it. Yes, it is just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times half volt. So the output now is 4 volt peak to peak. Okay, and now let's see the input signal which is available at the output of the generator. Yes, and now we can measure the input signal, which is 1, 2, 3, 4 times 50 millivolts. So the amplification ratio is the ratio of these two values. If you divide, but I forgot the previous one. Okay, let's write it down somewhere. So the input signal is 1, 2, 3, 4 times 50 millivolts, 4 times, I can't write it, 50 millivolts equal 200 millivolts. And now let's see the output signal. The output is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times 500 millivolt, which is 4000 millivolt. So the amplification is 4000 divided by 200. It is 20. So this is an amplifier with amplification ratio 20, and it can produce output up to 4 volt peak to peak. If you remove S1, the negative feedback jumper, then the output will be extremely high, but it is limited by the ground and the power supply. So now a very small value is a maximum input level, but this generator cannot produce such small level. Let's try to do it, but I don't open it. I don't know, is it increasing or decreasing? In that direction. So now, okay, let's think it is okay, but it's very small level. So now the output signal is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times 1 volt. It is 5 volt, and the input signal is 1, 2 times 5 millivolt. So now the amplification ratio is equal to 10 millivolt. So the amplification is 5000 millivolt divided by 10 millivolt, and it's equal 500. So this is a very big amplification ratio. Now that's why very small signal can be amplified with this factor only. That's why we apply the negative feedback, and in that case the output signal will be only with the same input 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 times 50 millivolt, 200 millivolt. Yes. Now the output is 200 millivolt, and the input is 10 millivolts, so the ratio is 20. This is the same 20 as before. So I'm saying that's enough. If you want to play with it, you can buy it at ICStation.com, but never buy it if you haven't got any measuring device or a minimum amplifier or minimum PC or a mobile phone with a sound output, because instead of the generator you can apply any Android or iOS software which can produce sine waves. And as an oscilloscope you can also find some application on the internet which produce a small oscilloscope from the input of the sound card of a mobile or a tablet or a PC, and in that case you can test this circuit without any real measuring device, but some wire, a 12 volt supply or a 12 volt battery is minimum required for this measurement. And if you buy it, don't forget the discount code in the description. And if you find this demonstration video useful, then please subscribe to my channel or thumbs up with the like button. Thank you for your watching, and have a nice day, and goodbye.